drop it down to my knees, Lord, answer me. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, I keep on eating. I know them niggas don't want no pipe, I keep on eating. I'll be that pleasing. My mama tell me all the time, baby, you gonna be a star, but she don't even like me. For real. How that's your dog in the yard, that nigga won't get your beat. I had to stop fucking with niggas, I knew they wouldn't fuck with me. And I can't wait to ride touch, we gon' run the niggas. Shit, I can't wait to scope touch, we gon' kill the niggas. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, that's why I brought new bliss. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, that's why I put an extension. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, y'all make your mama bitch. I had to move up out my mom's house, I couldn't bring the tension. Cause when I leave about this bitch, I gotta bring the kids. Hey, when I leave about this bitch, I don't know if I'll come back in. And if you really acting, nigga, you know what I'm feeling. I told my niggas bull out, cause we on a mission. My girl be telling me chill out, cause she need a nigga. And plus my son be getting older, that's my little nigga. It ain't shit I wouldn't do for my fucking children. And making it back home to them, you know I ain't playing with you. I hear them niggas talking like I'll keep that playing with you. I heard some niggas wanna ride me down, play with niggas. They know we keep them splits, brother, we love to smoke on niggas. I'm tired of bitch ass niggas act like we don't know a nigga. I'm tired of bitch ass niggas act like we won't get with it. I feel like got a penny, I swear y'all be ignoring the niggas. I feel like got a penny, young nigga, I keep a Jordan with me. I feel like got a penny, these 3 3s, they don't hit a nigga. These 3 3s, they hit a nigga. I feel like got a penny, young nigga, I keep a Jordan with me. I keep a Jordan with me. I feel like got a penny, young nigga, I keep a Jordan with me. I know dog in the cup, that nigga won't get your beat. I had to start fucking with niggas, I know they won't fuck with me. You know I can't wait to ride touch, we gon' run the me. Shit, I can't wait to stroke touch, we gon' kill the nigga. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, that's why I brought the clip. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, that's why I put an extension. I know them niggas ain't fucking with me, I make your mama bitch. I had to move about my mama house, I couldn't bring attention. Yeah, I couldn't bring attention. I had to move about my mama house, I couldn't bring attention. And when I leave about this bitch, I gotta bring clip. And when I leave about this bitch, I don't know if I'm coming back in. For real. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share the live stream. We're going to continue this out with 1 or 2 more Jammy Jam. We're going to go straight into the live stream. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Much love. Grand Rising. This is the Wake and Bake Show.
I didn't look at my life like it was a movie. I had to look at all the moving parts. So I had to really understand what it was. When they say love, people blind. Yeah, I'm introverted. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my bank, I got a murder. Can't go to the back, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with burn. The streets wanna murder. Streets wanna murder. I told you that it's ain't about to come with burn. This shit come with birds. This shit come with birds. This shit come with birds. Paint the city red. All the shit I seen replaying in my head. Heard the streets smoking, so we caught them boys instead. Block with a murder and they caught with another bad. And I thought they would. But it was right, really. Niggas was crooked. Playing the kitty with niggas that cost them a bullet. Didn't want to do it to him, but I had to pull it. We put in the streets, we put in the trap, I'm in on the music. I wear my balls on this microphone, it's therapeutic. I know the streets listen when I talk, I can't abuse it. I can't abuse it. I can't abuse it. But no, I can't abuse it. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my back, I got a murder. Can't bows on the block, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with murder. I'm introverted. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my bank, I got a murder. Can't goes on the block, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with burdens. The streets wanna murder. Streets wanna murder. I told you that it's ain't about to come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. Yeah, baby, you know why I get it. Stuck in the grind, bitch, I'm on a mission. Over they talking, little baby, I'm different. And on my nuts, I handle my business. And on my phone, shit in the business. I'm really rapping the shit that I'm living. I got a problem inside of my mind. I hear the streets talking, they tell me to get it. Tell me to get it. I gotta get it. Yeah, she tell me I'm tripping. All of my money was out of my music to give myself what I was missing. Yeah, I was missing. I never asked me for a dime. I never caught them niggas in the jam. I know the ops stepping in the moon. I know my head going for a bang.
I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving.
I got the trap on top of my back.
I got a murder. Shout out to all the American Aborigines in the chat, man. Let's get right into it.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. Alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stirrup. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stirrup. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with perky, now that hair on them is veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stirrup. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stirrup. I know the eyes wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost see, I glossed through it, shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the feds, giving names. Who gon' feed my family if they take me out the game? Keep one in the head and one eye open, that ain't change. I'm quick to catch a body. When I shoot, he shoot, I know bro shooting right beside me. Them hollow tips go through the wall and then they hit his body.
Peace. Peace and love to all the American Aborigines in the chat. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, man. Grand Rising. All right, man. It's a lot of people in the building, man. Shout out to everybody. Hit that like button. Elizabeth, I know a lot of people been inquiring about the song. Like I said, this is exclusive songs. You can't hear this nowhere. These are some Delaware artists that I've been dealing with exclusively, kind of putting them up under my wing. We will be releasing music videos to all the songs that you heard from Snake Love, Introverted, Scotty Pip, and One Eye Open. You will be seeing music videos from all of those real soon. These are exclusive artists. You can't hear it nowhere. This is the only place you can hear this music at. So it's like kind of being snippet and leaked on our Power channel. They haven't even dropped yet. Shout out to my brothers from Delaware, my Aboriginal brothers who are putting in that pain, who really make great quality music. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody, man. Hey, wake up, man. Come on in the light, goddammit. Come on in.
I'm in the house.
Yeah,
Come on in, family. Wake on up.
Come on in, goddamn. Let me shout out everybody in the chat. Elizabeth Young, Lady Lynn, Commander, Elizabeth Snake God, the Hyena Chief, Madeline Johnson, Juice, Nuts. Who else we got up in here? Who else? Jerry Larry, Maurice Miller, Shamil Thomas, Lightweight, and Scats. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to Big Chief fucking crackers as well. We just now getting the crack. Shout out to my big brother Akeem T. Shout out to Sister Soul Main Radio. Sister Soul Main, get with me, Sister Soul. We need to put together something fire for the people. Shout out to my brother, man, a legend, a pillar in the community. Shout out to Untouchiness one in the chat, man. Shout out to my brother, the Untouchiness one in the chat. Hey, get with me too, big bro. I'm gonna call you after this live. We need to put together something beautiful for the people because it's been lackluster information in the community. And I think what's a more brilliant way to introducing some fire information than no other to do it with my brother A1, Attention is one. Shout out to Aboriginal Reacts in the building. Shout out to Michael Douglas Craig in the building. All right, it's a movie in this bitch. It's a movie. It's a movie. Shout out to everybody, man. Hopefully everybody's feeling good. I'm gonna get into some audio of what happened. We're gonna be recapping because I watched the Marcel and Michael Harriot debate dealing with lineage and who should get reparations or who should get what's owed to them in America. So I will be going through that. I'm about to drop the link in the chat right now, A1. I'm about to drop it right now. So
That's right.
You can come on right now. Hey, like I said, wake up, goddamn. Come on in. Hit that like button.
I'm in the house. I'm in the house.
Uh-huh. Let's go, goddamn. Wake up. Come on in. Goddamn. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
That's right.
That's right. Off work now. Feeling good. Okay. Aline Johnson. Well, don't feel good. Relax. You know what I'm saying? You might even doze off, listen to some of this beautiful information since she fresh off of work. Make sure you get your beauty sleep. Make sure you get your beauty sleep. You understand me? The link is in the chat, big bro. A1. The link is in the chat. So, like I said, man, a lot of you niggas is y'all sissies. I ain't even gonna lie. One of my dudes said it best. A lot of you niggas is just punk sissies out here pushing this information. I ain't got no backbone.
Sissy ass up.
Say it again.
Shut your sissy ass up. You hear me? Big sissy.
A lot of these niggas sissies. Somebody say I'm on the purple truffles. Hey, shout out to my man on the purple truffles, man. We on the blueberry crumble right now, man. About to have some. Shout out to my brother Attention this one on the panel. We got A1 on the panel. Shout out to Attention this one. What's going on, Hanu PL?
Peace, peace, peace. Peace to all the gods and goddesses. Peace to all the Aborigines, North, South, Central, as well as the conjoining islands, man.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. What I know you got some heat for us. What's going on, big brother? How your grand rising going this morning? How your day going?
Just moving and shaking, man. You know how it is, man. But more important though, man, what you got going on, man? I see the title and shit, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going in on the
very busy, man, with these debates and shit, or these face-off.
Say what?
I'm sorry, say that one more time, AP.
I said, yeah, this was like a debate between Marcel and this guy named Michael Harriot. They was having a lineage-based conversation about who should get reparations or what's owed to them and whether or not it should be lineage-based. So that was the conversation yesterday. I think it was pretty intriguing. So I'm going to recap it. You got Tariq Nasheed recapping it, and then we all just going to give our breakdown.
Hey, but what you mean, real quick? Hold up. What you mean, lineage based? What you mean? You talking about foreign United States?
Lineage based is dealing with who should get what based off of your lineage and who was here at a certain time frame. The other debate is dealing with who was actually misdone in this place. You see what I'm saying? So he's coming with the angle all races was done bad in America, so all races should get what's owed to them.
Nah, money grip. Some people signed up to come here. Some people is United States foreigners, man. And if you move your geographical location as a result to you trying to have a better life, then you have to accept what comes with coming here. So you don't deserve
That's
nothing.
Not a coincidence. You can hit the link. You can hit the link.
And I'm
we
saying
never said we didn't agree. We never said we didn't agree with reparations. All we said was there's a more articulable word that you can use in your vocabulary that describes everything in general, and we use that word as restitution. We don't separate restitution from reparations.
Technically, hold up, AP. Technically, see, reparations is for African Americans. We deserve a redress of grievances. So we don't have the same. We don't get reparation, even though reparation, if you break it down, it's
for war crimes, and if we was POWs, then we if it's for war crimes and we was POWs, then we owed some of it too.
But technically, really, we wasn't used. And see that was the narrative before we done the further research to it. We only became POWs in the 1900s. Now, if you want to say we wasn't ever no prisoner of war, we wasn't ever no slaves. These people didn't start. People didn't start. Go ahead.
No. I believe you're right.
We were never slaves.
But this system in effect prior to this?
Yeah. That's a fact. And the system that was in effect.
For my classification, was it in place before the 1900s?
Yeah, that's a fact. Yes.
Right. So I think what their lineage base is going back to 1970. So, which is only 30 years before the 1900s. So if you could track your family lineage to the 1970s, you can prove that they went through certain atrocities here in America.
Yeah, that's but but understand this, right? See, like for my beginning research, right? I used to say that, you had Indians that was enslaved, right? Well, by who? Well, by no Europeans. And so the more and more I've done my research or done the research of the Americas, I realized that a lot of shit that happened was just kind of like exaggerated. Now I'm not telling you from the 1900s.
That's true.
From the 1900s, it's something totally different. So when we start talking about like the shit that we see, that we can really see, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the oppression and like even, I was watching something
a lot of the. So what you saying? My bad, big bro. So what you saying is most of the shit in the document that's in the 1900s is documented and on film, and a lot of the shit in the 1800s about our conditions is being exaggerated. As a matter of fact, it's probably less accurate than what they assume. Is that what they call the Reconstruction period of information?
Yes, Reconstruction, exactly. And see, the thing of it is this, right? See, let me just say this real quick, right? See, a lot of these niggas, like even Lord Abel, right? This idiot. This nigga had some shit on his channel, right? He was saying that Anthony Johnson family had land in the 1700s, right? Along with other black, so-called black or termed black people had land in Virginia in the 1700s, right? So now listen, remember this. Look at the early 19th century, right? Look at how they oppressed us in the 19th century. If them motherfuckers did that shit from 1619, you would never be able to own no land. They didn't want you to own shit in the 1900s. So just go back, look at how the conditions was in the 1900s. Now you have to ask yourself, wait a minute, how are white people now is more racist than they were in through the whole history of this country, or what we told the history of this country is because them motherfuckers wasn't doing that. They wasn't in control. When they tell you that white people were slaves here, that is the motherfucking truth, man. When they tell you that white people didn't get freed until the Civil War. The Civil War is the fucking secession war. The secession war is dealing with land. Land goes back to the Great Lord Peace. Any foreigner cannot own land here, and any Aborigine that gives a foreigner land or whatever, then the consequences is death. So understand that. That's what the whole Civil War was about, because these people couldn't own no land. And see, when you tell these other idiots,
talk about a little bit. Can you go in on that just a little bit, just for clarity for the people, bro?
Look, man, white people were slaves here, bro. The only melanated people you say were slaves here was as a result of melanated Aboriginal men mating with these fucking foreigners, mating with these Slavic women. And then you know what a mulatto look like. A mulatto could come out light skin, or a mulatto could come out light brown skin, or a mulatto could come out dark skin. So you got to understand. So the condition of the mother is the condition of the motherfucking child. this is what took place here. And see, most people, their research don't go back to that. So they can't, they look at, understand this too, right? Right? All of our history is coming from the so-called European, right? All of the history from black scholars is coming from Europeans. These same Negroes who go to these European institutions is being taught by Europeans. So understand that their whole methodology or their whole outlook on history comes from them. So they're the ones who taught them and gave them the outlook on how they predict or how they look at our situation here in this country or whatever. So you gotta understand something.
How they view us on a large scale.
Exactly.
I
So
got a dude
but the
that's coming in here. I got a dude in the background, A1. I'm gonna leave it up to you. He probably gonna have some questions in opposition. Do you want to let him on now, or you want to finish getting your build up?
Hey man, hey, I don't run from no battles. Let him on. Shit.
All right, now this guy's a supreme slow guy. I'm talking about best of the best when it comes to the slowness. Pro Black, peace and blessings, Pro Black. How you feeling, brother?
How you doing today? How you doing today? Yes, sir. Yeah, disclaimer, I'm not a troll. Yeah, I just have
I know you're not a troll. I know you're not a troll. I know you're not a troll.
right. I just have a lot of issues with the things y'all saying. There's a lot of division and divisiveness, and I believe that's not good for our people. And another thing on another note is, you know what I'm saying, y'all talking about reparations from a guy named Tariq Nasheed. This was a guy that when he first came on the scene, he was a Pan-African. And now he's on this, and now, you know, he made.
Hey, Pro Black, a lot of our brothers and sisters was either pro Black, Pan-Africanism, Hebrew Israelite. They was under some form of indoctrination as well. So that means people still grow. That means if you're able to see someone from something to something else in a certain amount of time, that's called growth, brother. That's called growth.
Hey, look, AP. Yeah. Okay, all right. Fuck what our stance is. What's your stand? Well, all right. What should we be doing by what you got to say?
What should we be doing? You ask me or you ask somebody else?
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say you and y'all, because I'm not.
Okay.
I don't put myself with weight. So, what should you be doing, or what should your people or the people who you want to follow you? What should they be doing?
You talking about people? You talking about black people in America, right?
There's no such thing as black people.
Well, there's no such thing as the term America. You know, America was named after a colonizer, right?
No, it was. Actually, Amerigo Vespucci original name was Alberto. So when he came over here, his name was Alberto Vespucci. After running into the Amaru or the Ameri tribe in Florida, right? He named himself Amerigo Vespucci. But yeah, there's some clarity, brother. He changed his name to America after running into American tribe. He didn't name America, sir.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thanks for telling me that. Now, okay, what was this landmass called before it was called America by the white supremacists? What was this landmass called?
Hey, you want to answer that?
Yeah, this land was called the Amaru. Okay.
How you know? How do you know?
What you mean how I know? Because I done did research. The same way how you think this land was named after Alberto Vespucci. I done did research on it. The land was called the hold. Listen and learn.
Ask them a question, Black. You gotta let them answer.
Because obviously you don't know what you're talking about. So listen and learn something. Okay?
Yes,
this
sir.
land was called the Amaru. Okay? The Amaru. Okay, when Vespucci went to the region of Nicaragua, which is in Guyana, he took the term Amaru and added to Amaru Vespucci. But they changed it because of the vowels that's in Italy. And understand this, even if we believe Vespucci, right? Vespucci probably was a Negro because it wasn't no European. There wasn't no Europeans functioning or running shit 300 years ago.
Yes, sir. See, this is the part where I get confused. Okay, so you saying that this Italian colonizer, white supremacist, which I'm pretty sure he was, came to
Wasn't even no
America.
colonizers. All right, let me give you. Let me give you.
Can I
A1.
finish?
Hold on.
Okay,
No.
go ahead.
Let me give you A1 vision. Okay. Let me give you A1. Let me give you a history lesson. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Understand this, brother. The Romans were Negroes. Okay. The Holy Roman Empire. There was no original Roman Empire. All of them was Negroes. Number one. Okay. When they tell you that the Sicilians, why do you think all the Sicilians are dark skinned? Why do you think that most of the mob are always talk about that the Sicilian people was black? Because the original people who inhabited Italy, Sicily, Rome, Greek, all that shit was Negroes. Understand this too. That whole land was inhabited by Negroes all the way up until the late 1800s, the early 1900s. So all of the people that they telling you was white supremacists was really black supremacists or melanated or Moorish supremacists. Okay.
Okay. All right. I got you, bro. I got you. Okay, now let's get back to the American part. Okay. You saying this Italian guy encountered this
Italian. He's not even
okay.
He ain't find nothing here, bro. Because like I said, we got pyramids here. We had, if you go back and look at the
okay.
World
Let me get this straight.
Palaces here.
Right. Okay. I got you. Okay.
Empire.
So okay. So this American guy, or whatever his name, he came. I mean, this
Alberico.
Alberico. Okay. This Alberico guy, he came to this landmass, and he encountered a tribe called the Ameri people, right?
He didn't come, man. Listen, first of all, let's just put some thought to this story, okay? That story was created to make you think that this land was wasn't occupied by people and there was no empire here. They do that shit to hide the fact that America is the first land out of the water before Africa. No, sir,
I ain't talking about that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm asking you a question.
I'm briefing you. Okay, well, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm asking you, as the story goes, he encountered a tribe called the Ameri people, right? That's what they say, right?
Not the Ameri, the Amoru.
Hey,
okay,
you can hit that.
Wait. I'm trying to get stuff straight. So the Amoru, and then he took their name, called himself America, then named the whole landmass America.
He didn't name no whole landmass. The land, listen, Amaru is a goddess, okay? Amaru is the goddess of this land that you call America. He's a goddess.
How do you know?
That's right.
How do you know?
Because I'm telling you from the same way how you don't know because you haven't done no research.
Okay,
right.
sir.
Everything I'm telling you is research first.
Sir,
everything I'm telling you is what they don't teach you at history.
Come on, let's do that.
Let's
not do this, sir. Calm down, sir. Okay. Now you saying the research. Now, who provided the research? Who recorded all this?
I'm the catalyst. What you mean? Who provided the research, my dude?
Yes.
No, please don't go into that Europeans taught you because everything that come out your mouth is European based, man. So you ain't learned.
I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get some clarity, sir. So
look. Numerous sources. There's just not one source to this shit. There's numerous sources. And when you do listen, let me tell you something. As a researcher, when you research, you read, right? You read. When you read, you have to decode and decipher information. And then you
in
also
English, right?
Well, listen, everything you saying is in English. So I don't know what let's not play semantics.
Right. Okay. In English. Okay. I'm just trying to understand. So wait. Hey, bro. Let's backpedal a little bit. We're getting kind of ahead of things. Okay.
I don't want to get dizzy, so I don't want to back.
Okay. Right. Don't confuse me. You got to remember, bro. I'm slow. Y'all guys know all this stuff. I'm just trying to get some clarity.
I don't even know.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I take that.
First encounter with you. I don't know you.
It's all good. I take that. But the point is, okay.
This is your first time meeting Thompson is one. This your first time. We got another brother in the back that want to get it in on this information this too. So I'm gonna allow Gideon on in just a second. So Pro Black, try to wrap it up. I'm gonna allow somebody.
All right. Okay.
Come on. Let's go.
Okay. So this landmass we on right now. This landmass is called America, right?
It's called the Amaru. The Amaru.
No, sir. No, stop. No, stop. No, I was about to ask.
Hold up.
No,
dude,
sir.
be
No.
quiet and listen
Oh,
to
sir.
something so you
Sir,
don't
sir.
get confused.
Wait. No,
So,
sir.
cause you
No,
making
wait.
you
I gotta
making
ask one more
constant
question.
mistakes, my
One more
dude.
question.
You can answer your
All right,
question.
one
I'm
more.
gonna answer your question. Hold up.
One more,
I'm gonna
bro.
answer,
One more. Hold
my
up, bro.
dude.
Wait, let me ask this last one. Or do you consider, sir?
Hold on, Blue. Hold on,
Bro,
Black.
let's have a
Chill,
proper
chill.
discourse.
Hey, you
Okay,
ain't gotta
listen.
rush. Listen, Black, you ain't gotta rush, bro. Just calm down. So when somebody
Look,
might be
hey, he keep
interjecting, you just
interjecting. He
adding
keep
clarity.
interjecting. I'm trying to
What,
get
what,
I'm
clarity.
trying to
hold on,
clarify. Hold up.
hold on.
AP,
You
AP, AP, AP. Let me.
often when someone interjects, that means they want to add clarity. You see what I'm saying? So just
No,
let
no,
them.
I don't need that. I don't need that
AP,
You
let
just
me
said
just, let
I'm
me
trying.
just.
clarity.
Hey
You just
fam,
said
if
that.
you're not going, listen. If you're not going to listen, my dude, you're gonna have to go. I'm trying to tell you one more thing, and then you can go ahead with your frivolous statements.
I just
Listen.
want to ask you a question. Do you consider
Okay,
yourself
let me.
an American? Do you call
You
yourself an
motherfucking
American
right.
or an
I'm an
Amaru?
American. I'm the
So won't you
Amaru.
call
Yeah.
yourself an Amaru?
What you
Are
mean,
you an
Amaru?
American or Amaru?
I'm an Amaru.
So okay, all right, cool.
I'm an
Go ahead.
Amaru. I'm
Ask.
the only Amaru. The word.
I'm
Listen.
a
Oh,
group.
okay. So, sir, do
Hold
you
up.
consider yourself a foundational Black American?
Hell no.
Okay, cool.
Hell,
Do you
motherfucker. Now,
consider
first of
yourself? Hold
all,
up, sir.
I'm not.
Another
Listen,
question.
my dude. What? What?
Do you consider yourself
Go
an
back
Indian?
home, Gideon.
A what?
An Indian?
Hell no. I mean, I'm a so-called Indian. I'm a
Why
so-called
would you?
Indian.
I'm a
So-called
so-called
Indian.
black dude. I'm a so-called Indian.
Why would
But
you
when it
consider
comes down
yourself an
to it,
Indian? That's a
Because
label
my
the
people
Europeans.
wasn't called. No,
we did
no.
consider
Listen, no,
ourselves
no,
an
no.
Indian.
Listen. These are synonyms. These are synonyms. The word Indian go back to the Aboriginal people. Aboriginal go back to the first inhabitant of the land, and then it goes back to the word
Sir,
of time. It means no, sir.
sir.
Listen, hey, sir. Look, my dude. If you're gonna listen. You have never
Do your
spoken to me
thing. Do your
before.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
can't. It's
what
hard
I'm
for you
trying
to
to
hear
tell
me
you.
constantly talking.
Hold
Yeah,
up,
listen.
look. So the word America, right? America, which is AMARUKI, right? So Amaru Ki. Okay, so Ki, Amaru is the goddess. Ki means land. Okay. Now, when we say American or Amaru King, or when you say the CAN or the KIN. So look, I got it. So when we say kin, okay, Amaru kin. Kin means the people. Amaru is the goddess, and KIN is the people. Just like when you say American. American means the people, and America means the land, right? So when we say we the Amaru, our people are the Amaru, meaning that our people are under the goddess called the Amaru. Okay, so I mean, I don't know what you've been taught in these
All right. So
fucking
call yourself the
European
Amaru.
institutes.
Call yourself
Well,
the Amaru. Don't call
I
yourself an
never
American.
denied. I never denied
So so
being called that.
you're a Amaru, right? You're not an
That's a
American.
fact.
Don't call yourself an
Fact.
American. Oh, okay, good. Okay, the Indian part, bro. Okay,
What?
the Indian part. When the Europeans
What?
came over here, they described the people. They
We
so-called
keep
described the
telling you,
people.
ain't
They
no
the indigenous.
Europeans was in power. When no Europeans
Okay,
in
bro.
power,
I got it.
Europeans come here and call nobody nothing.
So where the
This
term
the
Indian come from?
term Indian come from the hold up.
That's how they
Nino
describe the
Indi
people.
my dude, would you shut the fuck up, bro?
Just go ahead,
The
bro.
word
Just
okay. The word Indian come from the word Nino N-D-O, meaning children of God. Okay? See, that's what I'm saying. Seek
okay,
first to
okay. Oh,
listen, my dude. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. You confusing me with everybody else. Seek first to
bro.
fucking
Okay,
understand, then to be understood. So listen to what the
okay.
fuck I gotta say, and
Who
listen to
created?
my
Oh,
perspective. Listen to my perspective
I
before you
got you, bro.
put me under the status
I'm
of
just
what you
asking
heard everybody
questions.
else.
That's it.
Okay, and I'm giving you answers.
Okay, go ahead.
No, good. It's
Nino
on you.
Indian. Okay, Nino
Okay.
Indian. Where you get that term from?
What? What you mean? Nino Indios
Yeah.
from research.
Research from where?
Man, listen, my dude, I'm actually offloading the car. I'm actually at work right now. I'm not in front of motherfuckers.
You
I'm at
want to
work
know
too.
where? It was in the book. It was in a book, bro. It was in a book. You
Which
got to
book?
look at Spanish laws of the Inquisition. Hernan
Oh,
Cortez.
wait, hold
You can go to Columbus laws. You can go to
Oh,
Jesuit
Columbus.
letters. Listen, you go to
Ooh.
Jesuit letters. These are actual sources that you can go to where refer to the Aboriginal people here as
Right. So
Neo-Indios
hold on, calm down, sir. Calm down. Let's slow it down. You gotta remember, I'm slow, man.
No.
Y'all
You
faster
gotta
than me,
slow
man.
down. You talking while I'm talking. You gotta slow down. I'm explaining it. You're
I'm just
cutting
trying
me off.
to get some clarity right
You
now.
gotta
Now
wait
was
till I'm
Columbus
done, sir. You gotta wait till
was
I'm
Co-
done. Hold your
was
horses. I'm
Columbus
not gonna go on forever.
was Columbus a European?
Thank you. You gotta calm
No,
down. Pro black, you
no,
gotta calm down,
Columbus
sis.
wasn't. Columbus
So
wasn't.
Columbus wasn't no European.
Columbus was a Negro. I keep telling you, wasn't no Europeans running shit, my dude. Wasn't no
So
Europeans
Hawaii.
running
So
nothing.
okay. Right. Okay, based on your narrative, I ain't saying you
It
lying,
ain't.
bro.
It's
I mean,
based on real
so
research. It's not based off of their research. And listen,
right.
listen, my dude.
So,
They can't
sir.
control you. Listen, if they give you the title of being their master, then how the fuck can they control you and oppress you when you know that you're stronger than them? They gonna give you their narrative. That's the reason why you calling yourself black. That's the reason why you think you're from Africa. That's the reason why you think you're African American. Because you listening to them. But then you asking us why we speak English and why we do it. You don't speak nothing no different than we speak. You don't speak no African language. Go ahead, my dude. Go ahead.
Okay, so you saying that we was running stuff back in the day. Why in this country, right? So why are we running that now? Why the white supremacists is running
Because
everything?
after 1865, when they released the Slavs could not own no land, and as a result of that,
Wait. Slavs. You mean
Slavs.
black people, right?
No, Slavs. That's where the word slave come from. The word slave come from the Slavic people. You put Slavia, Slovenia.
Okay, you said, sir, you said 1865. You said they released the Slavs. Now, what race were those Slavs?
White people, or what you call hybrid, European hybrid.
So black people wasn't. So black people wasn't slaves. We didn't pick cotton.
Listen.
We said the first slaves in America was white people.
No, we said no, bro.
Hold on.
The man said 1865.
The only time the narrative was applied to us.
Talk about Slavic history.
The only time that the narrative was applied to us when they started to put this shit in these books to basically put you up under there to make you a subject of theirs. They're the only slaves. And like I told you, and like I was saying, listen, like I was telling you, if there was so-called black slaves, right? Understand this. If there was so-called black slaves, understand this. It's because black men started to mate with these Slavic women that was running away from these plantations. You had white women that was running into our cities, and these niggas was swirling with them just like niggas do today, and they was creating children. Now understand this. When the slave, so hold on, listen. When the slave catcher come back to capture the mother, the condition of the children is the condition of the mother. Now, if you mate with a white woman right now, your child could come out. One could come out light skin, one could come out light brown skin.
They're gonna still be black.
Exactly. Well, they're not black. They're not black. So I mean, you first of all, you sound like an intelligent man. We talking about fucking colors here. Cause black don't have black in the cognitive state means a fucking color. There is no denotative state that will tell you that black has another color. I mean, or black has another meaning other than a fucking color. So you put your fucking face next. You put your fucking face next to a black fucking hoodie. Is you that fucking color?
No, bro. We talking about labels. This is what the powers that be labeled us.
But hey, you label yourself that. Ain't nobody. I self-law man.
Right. We took the term back.
We ain't take nothing because
in the 60s. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the Black Panthers. They took the term back and gave it power. It's called Black Power.
Nah, money grip. Listen,
Our
Malcolm X was calling us.
ancestors did that.
Listen, my dude. Malcolm X was calling us Aborigines.
Keep talking.
Malcolm X was calling us Aborigines. Malcolm X was calling us motherfucking Aborigines. See, this is what I'm saying. You niggas don't do no research. You niggas fall under the same category of these black boulets who then took this motherfucking bag and go to these European institutions and get taught by them and then come back and push this shit to our people, and our people believing that, oh, a black man is not going to lie to us or he's going to tell us the
What
fucking
did
truth.
James
No, he was
Brown
taught
say?
by them. Listen, I don't give a fuck
I'm black
about
and
what
I'm
James
proud.
Brown said. And he had a white woman.
Say it
James
loud.
Brown had a motherfucking white woman. The fuck, James Brown said it, nigga. That means I gotta be a fucking entertainer.
Hey, Soul Brother #1 said it. It's true.
Because of a fucking entertainer, nigga. That's the reason
What
why
did
I'm calling
Martin Luther
myself
King
black.
say?
My dude.
What did Martin Luther
King said the Negro is in his own land. But you niggas keep on missing it. You niggas keep missing it. You niggas didn't get the fucking memo. You didn't get the fucking memo. That's why y'all come on here and talk about reparations and all. Nah,
Hey, I just
nigga.
want to ask a question, my man.
Go ahead, ask one
Okay.
more question. My dude.
You just said, okay, one more question. I wanted to ask a couple more, but I'm going to ask this one more question.
Nah, you only got one more, man. Your question is
right.
You got one more.
This the hitter right here. Okay, you said the Negro is in his own land, but
that's a fact.
We don't own nothing in this land.
He don't own nothing because he don't own nothing because of this motherfucking history.
Now, how that happen? How that happen?
What you mean? How
Mr.
that
Historian.
Hey,
Mr. Historian.
I told you that once the Slavics got free, what they did was they started.
No, it's called white supremacy. So
it ain't no white. These people ain't even white. They pale skin hybrids, my dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
You call them whatever you want. Hey, no, man, that's the slang term.
Like I said,
if you just want to be, if you want to be technical, yeah, they pale skin. If you want to be technical, yeah, we not black, we brown, and all different types of colors. No, being technical, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time.
Being right, exact, and correct.
But it's pointless. It's pointless.
It's pointless to be right and correct. Are you slow, pro black?
It's what y'all talking about? Yeah, y'all talking about that. Hey, no. Hey, look, let me tell you something. Yes, I am slow. Look, hold up. I am slow. What y'all talking about? This information that we had power and somehow white people they in power and we at the bottom now. How that happen?
Right?
How do you lose power?
Have a nice day. That was your last question. I appreciate you for coming through.
Man. Sorry, nada. Go my style. Adios. Hasta la vista, my dude.
Yeah.
Go find yourself, my dude.
Hey, Copper Color Top, what's going on with you, brother? We got you on the panel. What's going on? You got a question or a statement while we about to get into this bill? You got to unmute yourself. Copper Color Top, what's up?
Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, yeah. Appreciate that, OG AP, man, for having me on your show, man. Salute to everybody else that's representing and everything. I just wanted to agree with the OG, man, about that whole black shit, man. Martin Luther King, man, he was not with us, with our people calling ourselves black. You know what I'm saying? He was totally 100% against us melanated people out here in America calling us black. And one thing I wanted to add on about the genealogy and shit, you know, that's why they are so quick to tell us to go do your DNA test, do a DNA test, you know, call me stupid or whatever. But when I first came into this research back in the day, you know, man, I didn't know what the fuck a genealogy was and stuff until I came into this research. And then when I found out, I'm sitting here like, damn, that's why they don't want us to do the genealogy, because the genealogy holds the key to everything. And they so quick to tell us, hey, no, go do a DNA test. Genealogy is key. If we all find out our genealogy, then we go see that we hold the keys to the motherfucking
Hey, little
land.
bro. Hey,
yes, sir.
Bro, listen to this, man. Let's be technical with this shit. My man don't like to be right.
Gotta be
exactly correct, right? Let's be technical with this shit. You got DNA. If you did a DNA test with your own motherfucking child and it comes back 99.9% accurate, right? So why is this? And this goes back to the people in the land, right?
Yep.
This goes back to the people in the land. You can test any so-called third dimensional being in which they call human being with any other human beings, and it will come back 99.9% accurate. Now, the difference is your climate, your geographical land, your geographical status, or where you from originally, and also your motherfucking nutrition, man. The fucking heliocortex is made up of protein and fucking glucose. These stupid motherfuckers ain't telling you that. Glucose. Glucose comes from all carbon hydration. Okay? And it's like, yo, you tell these stupid motherfuckers this shit, and they should have
turn the other cheek.
Listening to some pseudo shit that tells you the shit for entertainment purposes.
That's right.
Entertainment purposes.
It's sad. It is sad.
Like,
Hey, one, we got
you took a biology class, real quick.
Go ahead.
If you took a biology class, okay, and you looked up DNA and ribonucleic acid, it's going to tell you that in the DNA chain, it comes from protein, CTGA, which is earth, fire, water, and air, and then fucking glucose that comes from carbon hydration. Everything that comes out of the fucking earth has glucose in it.
That's right.
All the way to fucking wheat. And these stupid motherfuckers. And now understand this, right? Now in certain countries, you're going to have some in certain countries, right? Some I'm gonna say micronutrients, okay? Micronutrients would be your minerals, right? Some micronutrient is more enhanced. Like certain places of America, you might have more selenium. In certain places, you might have more manganese, more magnesium, etc. So that's gonna throw your DNA off. Okay? These stupid motherfuckers don't even study DNA. They go through other so-called experts to where you have enough do DNA or I forgot, I can't even get the term of what they call them motherfuckers right now.
It ain't coming from the pale face. They want to turn the other cheek.
Exactly. They will so, you know, at the end of the day, man.
Hey, listen, we got the brother Gideon. We got the brother Gideon on here, y'all. So shout out to Gideon. I know he got some questions. Before we get into our bill, we ain't got to our bill. It's already a fire live stream already. This grand route. We ain't got into the bill yet. Shout out to the Gideon. What's going on here? What's going on?
Shalom. What's going on, Big AP? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. You know, feeling good. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I just want to give a shout out to my Aboriginal fam, like my blood family, my cousin. You know, right now I'm dealing with these courts and these laws, and I just want to let them know it's all good. You know, I hit him up for a couple of bands to help me with my court costs, and he like shot me down. I thought he was this big chief and all this, but with a whole bunch of land. But I just want to let him know I still love him, man. That's my little cuz, you know, and it's all good. But you know, I'm just messing around with that. But it's all good. But hey, bro, I'm hearing some troubling shit right now, bro. Like this brother that's talking, like. It's either two things. It's either he don't believe the shit he talking about, and I'm not gonna disrespect the brother, but I'm about to disrespect the hell out of what he talking about. It's either he don't believe the bullshit he talking about, or he is really messed up in the head because
you want that smoke. All you gotta do is say you want that smoke.
I'm just putting forward a question, and if it burn him, that's on him.
I feel like
I just, and peace to the brother. I pray the brother have good health and prosperity. So I want to hear what the brother who was talking to him put to him. Like, when did this transition from black people? And when I say black, I'm not talking about the color black. I'm talking about what society calls black people. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to call them Potawatomi tribe, the Congo tribe, those, whatever you label them, I want that brother, because what he's saying is a lot of bullshit, and I don't know if he know it or not. I don't know if he Like, but I want him to explain because that's a real start. That's a real quick transition from
Explain
black
what,
people
sir.
rule from black people ruling America to these white people, these Slavs, whatever he wants to call them. In the span of 200 years, this brother is basically saying they created a whole history spanning thousands of years. They erased all of the information that he's talking about and replaced it with theirs. Like that's seven factors of government of different aspects of life that this
You
brother
asked
is
a
saying
lot of
that they.
you
So how did
asked,
they do that? How did
you
that happen and where did he get
asked
that
a
from? Because
lot. You asked a
And
lot.
let me say
all
something.
right,
Hold on.
let me
Let me just
condense it. Let me
address one thing,
condense it.
AP. Hold on.
How did
Let
that
me address
happen,
one
my
Hold on,
brother?
thing. Hey,
hold
bro,
on,
can you
everyone.
hear me?
Hold on, everyone.
They
Hold on.
had to manipulate our minds.
Everybody mute up. Gideon, you asked your
Hey,
question.
look,
It was a
let
lot.
me
So
say
let
one
him
thing.
try to answer as much as possible. And if you need to go back to
Okay.
it, we allow him to ask you for more clarity on your question. But he about to answer right now. Everybody mute up so you can hear
Oh,
A1 answer. Go ahead.
okay. First of all, right, Europeans ain't got no thousands of year history. Number one. Let's stop this
That's
bullshit,
right.
okay?
I'm talking about
Number
like
That's right.
two, when you
Mesopotamian,
read, hold on,
Egyptian,
hold on, my
all
thing.
that history.
Hey,
Listen to mine.
Gideon. You gotta let him speak, G.
AP, look, check it out. I'm not trying to be yelling or having shit show type atmosphere. So if if your guest that
You
comes on
gotta
the panel, we can have
you gotta speak up
we can,
you gotta speak up a
okay,
little bit, A1.
That's right.
okay, I'm a little, all right, hold up. All right, look, let me turn my mic up a little bit. Y'all hear me better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
AP, can you hear me better? Okay, all right, so first of all, even they ain't giving they're not even telling you that they white people. People just assume because most of these books talk about Europe or Europia or Iberia, right? You assume that these are white people. They don't even give you no fucking identity to the people that they talking about, but because most of this history is coming from Europeans and coming out of Europe, then we automatically assume that these are fucking white people. They don't even give you no description of the people that they talking about. But when you go
That's
back
right.
and you look at it, if Charles the motherfucking fifth in the 1500s, at the same time that they telling you Columbus came here, was a motherfucking Negro with a fucking Sunni beard, then what makes you think that all of them was the fucking Negroes? The King of Portugal in the 1500s was a motherfucking Negro with a big ass fucking afro, then what makes you think that Negroes ain't always inhabited that landmass? So it's like, at this point in time, like you need to shoot the Aborigine that you getting your information from. Because a lot of these motherfuckers that come out here, they want to disagree with information and they're still going off of the same guidelines that the rest of these black boule scholars is going under. They haven't done
Right.
their own research. They read something, they don't know how to decipher it, they don't know how to decode it, they don't know how to cross-reference it, they don't know how to take the pros and cons from the conversation. They just automatically read something and then comprehend it and basically able to regurgitate it back to the people. And the fucking people accept it.
Yo, weak ass.
Listen. The gig is motherfucking up. The gig been up for a long fucking time, bro. So at the end of the day, go ahead, my brother. You got more questions you want to answer? You want to ask?
Yeah, so you still ain't answer my question. You was telling me what happened to the information, how they twisted it up. I'm asking you to show me the information. That's what I'm
My
asking. So
dude,
go
I
ahead,
can't
bro. Show
show
me
you
how that
shit.
happened.
I'm right now. Listen, my dude. Listen, I can't show you nothing right now. Right now, I'm navigating.
No, I know.
Right now, I'm actually. Oh, let me get finished. Right now, I'm navigating. But I would be more than likely. Listen, I would love later on to pull up this.
Hold on, A1. Gideon, would you like to set up an actual proper debate, moderated and everything, with A1 on this particular topic?
But you
Well,
already
it
know
don't
I'm
seem
at
like a
with it. You
debate. It
might
seems
want
like
to ask him that.
questions. Listen, my dude. Yo, I'm more than qualified to do this, my dude. I don't know. Allow me to reintroduce, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they didn't go down and tell you who I was, or maybe the people, y'all motherfuckers thought I was
Hey,
somewhere
just show
dead.
him one time, A1. Just show him one time. Spank him up one time. Put one hand behind your back and beat him up. It's easy. It's an easy W. When you want to set this,
And
when
maybe
you want to
they'd
set
be
this up,
happy to tell you exactly who the fuck I am. And I
hey,
have
what's
to
a
be
good day
cocky
for
when
you?
I say that, because some motherfuckers only understand cockiness. Huh?
Hey, what's a good day for you to set this up, man? I gotta see
Say
this
that again?
execution. What's a
Say,
good day for
Bob,
you to execute him?
look, yeah, ask him, cause it's whenever with me. Today I got till 2:00.
Well, we probably won't do it today. We'll set it up for this week though. Maybe like a
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday. It'd be good. Sunday, Saturday. What's a good day for you, A1? A1, you on here? Maybe his phone went out. He'll come back to him in a second. Pretty sure he'll pick any day. I
Yeah,
smoke
AP,
that.
it seemed like, bro, out of all them, you got the most sense, bro. You don't jump out the window too much, bro. You know what you kind of know what it is, cause like I always say, bro, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us that are Aboriginal to this land, and that's not a question. But all that craziness people be talking, and man, but that gotta stop, bro, cause that's nonsense, man.
Somehow this nigga on some wild, crazy shit.
Hey, facts. And listen, straight up, wild, crazy shit. What is confusion to you? Do you not understand what the Aboriginal contributions is to the world?
That's right.
It deals with civilization.
Yep.
So that's a question you put forward to me.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's really a rhetorical question. It ain't meant for you to answer. Because,
Yeah.
we can just start naming all these things that advanced societies that American Aboriginals was the first to introduce
Oh
to
yeah, no doubt.
society in general.
The American Aboriginal, if it wasn't for him and his inventions, we'll probably still be walking around in America today, just on foot, like horseback. The American Aboriginal did that, and my thing is a lot of the so-called Aboriginals, they stuck with people years ago, meaning that these land grants and these treaties and all that was formulated like 200 years ago, 250, So they freeze themselves in that time frame. And, they family may have been with some so-called Mongolian Indians only because they were the original Aboriginal Indian. So, a lot of
Hold
them
on.
stuck
Hold on.
200,
Hold on.
250 years
Hold
ago.
In
And
the house.
on, Gideon. Hold on. You said the Mongolian was the
Hold on.
original Aboriginal Indian here?
yeah, when I say the Mongolian, I'm speaking of the Khoisan. That's the most ancient man on the American soil. When you looking
The
at what
Quays.
y'all call when y'all
No
what y'all
Quays
call
people here, bro.
Mongolian,
Listen. Hey,
what
hey,
y'all
hey,
call
hey,
what y'all call
hey,
Mongolian, that's
hey,
actually the
hey,
Khoisan
hey,
African, and
hey,
he's the
Gideon.
oldest one that been
Check
Hey,
on the
that
can I
land.
out.
say something to
Gideon,
that real quick?
check
Hey, can I
that out.
say, hey,
So
can I say
yeah,
something to that real quick?
Yeah, I got
you
you,
know what
one.
I mean? So weak ass.
Ain't no Quayside people here, man. Ain't no motherfucking
Hey,
Quayside
P, let me,
Africans over here, dude.
hey,
What are you talking about?
hey,
You
And
hey,
crazy,
they
hey,
were
P, hey,
responsible
P.
Aboriginal.
for
And
building the mountains.
Aboriginal
They
people
were
here.
responsible for building these mounds out here. Shoot,
Not
those
Aboriginal
Indians, they'll
nigga
tell
blood.
you they didn't build these
Got
mounds.
blood that's older than any African lineage found in Africa. That's
That's
human.
right.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
What
P,
you saying?
hey, P.
Go ahead.
Yo, can y'all hear me? Okay, listen, my dude. First of all, the oldest DNA on this motherfucking planet go back to a brother in South Carolina. So his DNA is old older than the Khoisan. Homo sapien, according to these niggas' history, has only been walking around for the last 200 years. This nigga Albert Perry, and they go back 300,000 years, which
You cutting in and out, A1. You cutting in and out, big bro.
But yeah, AP, bro, I'll debate anybody on that. That what we call the Mongolian Indian is actually the Khoisan. That's
How
his
much you want?
ancestor.
How much you want to bet on that?
Bro, we can bet whatever, bro.
When you want
What
to
what
debate
you
this? When
what
you
you
want to
want
debate?
bet?
What you want to bet?
Let's bet 400 right now.
Right, I got it right now. We can go right now. So now, we gonna go right now on the debate.
No, I don't have the information prepared like that though.
When you want to do it? Thursday?
What today is? Today is Wednesday. Now I'm about to be out of town for a minute, so probably when I come back.
Monday?
Monday? Nah, I think my day is gonna be booked coming up.
Just hit me up, Gideon. Because you ain't gonna be able to prove none of that shit you talking about. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, but that's bro. You can just look at the people and see that, bro.
We ain't gonna play lookership. We're gonna have
So
to deal with real primary.
what you're gonna
We're gonna
dive
deal
into
with
DNA?
we're gonna deal with primary. We're gonna deal with DNA. We're gonna deal with blood quantum. We're gonna deal with cultural practices. We're gonna deal with customs. I'm just gonna beat you with all that. None of that proves Khoisan at all. None of it says Khoisan at all. So this is easy 400. I
But
need my
yeah,
money.
the black man is the father of all nations, bro.
Yeah, we ain't
Hey
about to play
Gideon,
that
what's the
out of all
what's the
nations, but
origin of the Khoisan?
Mongoloid people is the
What you mean?
father.
What's the origin? What you mean?
Where did the Khoisan say they come from? What's the origin? What's the origin story?
They're from South Africa.
But where did they say they come from? Where is their origin story going back to? Where did they
You mean their
elaborate?
cosmology?
Yeah, their cosmology.
I will have to get back with you on that. Because they're like real, they're hunter, they're the hunter gatherer tribe. So they haven't established any societies, let alone anything written down. Everything is basically oral from them. So I will have to look into that, my brother.
Yeah, Tayshawn, get his ass, dude.
Yeah, you already smoked, bro. You don't even know you talking about the Khoisan as Africans that came over here and they the first Americans. You don't even know where the fuck the Khoisan say they came from. You about to get smoked. Hey, I
And
got $400 on this too. What's up?
and this is the brother with the Dixie flag.
Yeah, my ancestors' flag, the Confederate flag, the Battle of the Chickamauga flag. It's plenty renditions of this flag. Texas got one, Mississippi got one, Alabama got one. Who else got one? Tennessee,
Hey,
Kentucky.
that particular
Nigga,
Confederacy had to protect the other branch of Confederacy and the pyramid from being destroyed from the Union. One of the last standing pyramids in North America. It's called the Red Pyramid. Shalom, the 38 Regiment Lookout Mountain Volunteer Blackfoot Chickamauga Confederacy branch went out there and helped. The flag that he see right there.
Is he saying that the Khoisan people are they responsible for, since he believed the Khoisan people were the first ones in America, is he saying they're
nigga,
responsible
you
for
said that. I didn't say that. You said that.
No.
I didn't say
That's
that.
not the same dude. That's not the same dude, Tayshawn. That's the Albo brother.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, it's all Gucci. No, but whoever said something about the South African people, them Khoisan people being the first or whatever they said, what was he pretty much saying that they responsible for all these mounds out here in America? I mean, because there's the Watson Break Mound that predates all the mounds out there in Africa or in Egypt, predates them by thousands of years. So my question is, what is the Khoisan people responsible for the Watson Break Mounds out there in if I'm not mistaken, I think it's in Louisiana?
Well, he debunked himself because he said the Khoisan are hunter-gatherers, so hunter-gatherers don't build pyramids and mounds. So that's why I say he about to get smoked in that
Hey,
debate.
not a coincidence. I don't answer
Yeah.
questions at the chat, man. You gotta come on the panel. G. I want to make sure we adding clarity to your question.
I mean, at
Like,
this point, bro, we don't even have to prove that we Aboriginal. It's time for these niggas to prove that they African and they can't. That's why they
That's
keep
what I'm
coming over,
That's
saying.
y'all.
right.
listen, yeah,
That
listen,
part.
listen.
That
I'm in
part.
America. Listen, I'm in America, saying I'm an American, and I always been here. My mom was born here. Like the burden of proof is on y'all to prove that I'm a motherfucking African or that you're African.
That
Nigga,
part.
I'm here in my land. You're not.
That part.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yep. I
A
mean,
lot of
only
these
proof they
people come around talking about they African and can't show one African on their lineage.
yeah, can't show
That's
not
right.
one goddamn boat. Not one boat. So we
They
all believe in a
be
goddamn
like,
mess that they
show
can't
me
prove.
what people for slaves. They'll go to some slave records, like Lord Albert did. Then when I looked into the slave records, all his family members was his slaves.
That's right.
W.B. Wade, Andrew Wade, Andrew W. Wade, William Wade, all that shit. Family members. Negroes. Negro slave owner with Negro slave. And these Negro slaves was his family members. You see how they misconstrued the narrative?
Yep.
That's what I be saying. These people don't they doing trickery.
Mm-hmm.
So what they doing now is when you tie yourself back to a certain point of, that's why I asked Lord Albert, what you did, how far you track your lineage back to, right? He said I could track it down to the 1870 census. But then he showed me the Freedmen's Bureau paper that's from the 1870, that's from the 1868. That's from 1868, Freedmen's Bureau. When he showed his family Andrew Way on there. So he lied right there. Then I asked him to prove that these people was African. What did he do? Went to a 23andMe test. So after they go so far on their lineage, they're going to jump over and go to say, look, I took my 23andMe test and say I'm African. That's the bullshit that they running on y'all.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's easy Pete. That's why he ain't going to want to get in the ring. I don't know. It'll be an easy debunk.
Your weak ass.
Facts. Lord, I know he weak as hell. Any more Pan Africans out here? Before I continue to get to my rest of my bill, we can get to the rest of the bill. After everybody came through, we about to get ready to get to the rest of the part of the bill that I have lined up. The audio, we're gonna be listening to the debate, some of the debate, maybe some of the recap of the debate. But we'll get into some other perspectives of the debate here in just a second. And like I said, it's on y'all motherfuckers to prove that we not African. Motherfucking day. You understand? Hey, shout out to you, big brother Copper Tie. Appreciate you for coming through, gang.
That's right.
I appreciate you. Yeah, all y'all, man, just for keeping it 100 and man, keeping it strong, man. I'm saying it's a lot of haters out here. A lot of haters out here, man.
Keep doing what you're doing, G. Keep spreading the word, man. Do what you do, bro. Shout out to my brother, man. All right, we about to get to the second half of the video, man. Let's get to the audio that we got lined up for you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Before we get started, make sure y'all drop them fire emojis in the chat. Fire emoji in the chat. We need them fire emojis in here, heavy in here. That let me know that y'all can hear me loud and clear, that everything good on the audio end. Shout out to A.V. in the building. Hey, if y'all can share this nigga social media, make sure you share this. Make sure you share the live.
If you're here, raise your
Make sure
hand.
you
Let me
share the
have a
live stream.
co-host because I might have to dip on and off, and I want to keep the room going. I might have to dip on and off, so I want to keep the room going. Hold on 1 second. Glad to have everybody tuning in. We gotta chime in and talk about that damn debate that just finished with our good brother Marcel and Michael Harris from Michael Harriot. Michael Harriot from The Root and The Griot. All right, he writes for several publications. You understand? Oh man, there's so much to unpack, family. Where do we start? Family, where do we start? There's so much to unpack here with this nonsense. First of all, I got to give props to our brother. Got to give props to Marcel. He did a phenomenal job with the debate. Marcel was phenomenal. He did a phenomenal job handling that. Brother Marcel had excellent talking points. He was absolutely phenomenal. We got to give props to our brother as far as that. He was phenomenal with the debate. As you could see, Michael Harriot, and I try to be, I want to be diplomatic here, but Michael Harriot is an idiot. And you see how idiotic he sounded. Let's just keep it a bug. I don't even want to sugarcoat it, family. I do not even want to sugarcoat it. Michael Harriot sounded like the moron that he is. Aki, let me make you, I need you to be a mod for me on here, co-host. Hold on, Aki. Okay, there you go, Aki. I might need you to be a co-host because I got some vegetable egg rolls coming from Postmates. So when I run to the door, I need you to keep the room going. So we got to unpack some things with this thing, man. Okay, y'all heard the debate. Everybody come on in the room. Okay, we got a lot of folks in the room already. First of all, hats off to brother Marcel. Marcel was killing dude with the facts. They were discussing reparations. Let me set it up for those who don't know. Michael Harriot is a writer for The Griot and The Root. He wrote a jive article talking about why reparations shouldn't be lineage based and gave these 10 asinine talking points that were so ridiculous. And he wrote this for The Griot. Now, keep in mind, The Griot, that's Byron Allen's publication. Remember when Tone Tits and Scrappy were up here trying to tell us to put the cape on for Byron Allen? Y'all remember that? You remember that? Raise your hand. Tone Tits and Scrappy, remember they told us to drop everything and support Byron Allen in his shenanigans. Oh, it was life or death. We got to support Byron Allen. So now look at what Byron Allen is putting out. These articles talking about how lineage-based reparations is not the lick, and they get this Democratic shill, Michael Harriot, to write it. Now, Michael Harriot, I'm very familiar with this guy. This guy and The Root, he's written several hit pieces about me throughout the years. He's a complete Democratic shill. And I want people to understand, a lot of times, these folks get this bad faith arguments and put out these jive talking points and then get us debating them nonstop simply to waste our time. If you listen to the debate, Michael Harriot sounded like a complete moron. Every time my good brother Marcel would ask him a question and ask him to clarify what he stated, Michael Harriot gets to babbling and stammering and stuttering and and on and backpedaling and lying about what he wrote. He couldn't even stand by the gibberish that he wrote in the article. Marcel was slaughtering this dude. This was such an unfair fight. This was completely unfair. That's you over there, Aki? Okay, you're all right over there, Aki? It's Aki over there making.
Sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted. Sorry.
What's Aki over there doing? About to take a bubble bath? All right, but like I said, this dude, Michael Harriot, and none of these people, whenever they start talking about we need to have race-based reparations instead of lineage-based, and they know that it's going to undermine us.
they can never articulate it in a proper manner. They always get to babbling and stammering and stuttering. And notice the only people who do that, who talk about our reparations should be race-based so we can include immigrants, are always these people who have these democratic connections. Michael Harriot has written for several democratic shill publications. The Root, the Griot, these are democratic shill publications. All they do is toe the line for the Democrats. A lot of folks don't know Michael Harriot and his family. They're all clicked in with Clyburn out there in South Carolina. So these folks are Democratic shills. His job is to just push these jive Democrat talking points, no matter how asinine they are. Let's be very clear. The reason why we see the N-Cobras and the Narcs and all of these other Democrat connected folks push this thing where we have to include all Black people, like we'll.
So that's a little conversation. I'm gonna actually play some actual parts of the debate right now. So let's get into the debate.
America to fix America. So we'll have him dig into that. So a couple housekeeping things. This is a single.
I'm sometimes reluctant to kind of even into that 1976 because there are people committed just to slavery. Because if you think about when we're talking about South Carolina, for instance,
I established a couple
of civil rights legislation.
So Michael Harriot, welcome, is a writer, cultural critic, and championship level spades player. Okay. His book, Black AF History, the Unwashed Story of America, will be released in 2022. Michael, let the folks hear your voice. Welcome to the space.
hey, thanks for having me. I don't think I could have done any better of an introduction to this conversation than you did. So I'm just saying thank you for having me.
Glad you are here. Thank you. All right, and then we have Mr. Greg Marcel Dixon. Greg Marcel Dixon is an educator and candidate for U.S. Congressional District Number 6 in South Carolina. Go ahead and welcome and say hi to the people, Marcel.
Hey, everyone, and I just want to say to Michael, when it comes to spades, you don't want none of this. So we'll talk about that. That'll be another one.
Fabulous. All right. So let's dig in here. Marcel, we'll start with you and then we'll toss it to Michael to address this opening question. As we're in this community talking about reparations and all of that, can you tell the listener about your connection to slavery in the United States and what more you'd like them to know about your background related to reparations and in general?
Well, thank you, Denise. I'm Galagichi, which means I'm the descendant of the Africans that were enslaved on the coast of South Carolina. And Michael made mention to this. South Carolina was once one of the richest places in the world. Of course, the people there, the majority being Black, were not rich because they were enslaved. But our rice growing, indigo growing, iron, blacksmithing abilities made it a very, very wealthy place, one of the wealthiest in the world. And right now, as we speak, I have property from what some will say was the first act of reparations that this government did for Black Americans who are descendants of those enslaved by the American government. Port Royal experiment, I have property from that in my family in the Beaufort area and Ladies Island. And I also have property from Special Field Order 15 here in my hometown of Ridgeland, South Carolina. So when I go to my grandfather's house, to get my hair retwisted by my cousins, I feel like I'm stepping on sacred ground. And I don't go to the property in Beaufort or Ladies Island much. But when I do go there, I'm like, this is really history. So it's a personal connection that's literally in my family, as with many people here in the Low Country.
Fantastic. Thank you. Michael, I want to toss it to you with the same question. Talk about your connection to slavery in the United States and what more you'd like folks to know about you and your background in general or reparations in particular.
Yeah. So I am, like Marcel kind of introduced me to, I am also descendant of enslaved people in South Carolina, Gullah Geechee. My paternal grandmother's side was enslaved on James Island in South Carolina. uh, and which is, for people not from South Carolina, that is essentially what a lot of people would call Charleston. It's right outside of Charleston, and my maternal grandmother's people and my maternal grandfather's people were enslaved. And, it was called the Old Salem District. It is Sumter on the border of Sumter and Lee County in South Carolina. And like Marcel, my sister, my mother, live on Special Order 15 property, and right outside of Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And my family.
I noticed that they both going with the slave narrative very heavy. And I don't really agree with the slave narrative.
Still, most of my family is still in South Carolina. So so when I went to graduate school, I taught, of course, created and taught a course for years called Race as an Economic Construct, which is the first, which was in the late 90s, the mid to late 90s. And it was the first time, I had been engaged in the conversation about reparations. There wasn't a lot of literature. Everybody wasn't on the internet. There was no social media back then. But the idea of reparations, was something that I've studied and written about since then. So that is my connection to enslaved people and to the reparations argument.
Excellent. What is the likelihood that we would have two Gullah Geechee descendants having this conversation? Seems incredibly appropriate to me. All right. So let's get started here. Michael, we're going to start this one with you. And here's the question. So in 2 minutes or less, can you tell us how you define reparations? And can you tell us what is the purpose of reparations? 2 to 3 minutes.
So, in my opinion, reparations are I like to frame the conversation as the dividends that are due to the people whose labor and intellectual aptitude was invested in America since the beginning. So I never frame it as, giving Black people reparations, or it is what we are.
I like how he said that. That's how he said laborers, endeavors. You feel me? He didn't really go with our slave work,
We have invested not just our sweat equity in our labor, and I always like to make that important point, but our intellectual property and our financial property. And that is why I do not think that reparations should be limited just to slavery, because if you think about when we're talking about South Carolina, for instance, until the 1940s, South Carolina was a majority Black state. The majority of taxpayers in South Carolina were paying taxes, and their money was being used to build generational wealth for white people. Their money was given to 7 white colleges when segregation or integration was illegal. So all of the white people who went to college in South Carolina before 1940 and probably until the 1960s were going to college on Black people's money, to colleges that we couldn't attend. So that is how I like to frame the argument. That is how I view reparations. And I guess my 2 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you. Marcel, how do you define reparations and what's the purpose of reparations to you?
I also agree with the fact that he said it's not just limited to slavery, because not all of us, most of us know that that's Aboriginal and did a lineage. Not all of us ancestors was slaves or was in slavery. You see what I'm saying? So it was other atrocities that we went through. I think that was very key to say it's not limited just to slavery.
Reparations for Black Americans who are descendants of American slaves is for the same reason as it was for the Japanese Americans who were interned, for the settlements that were made to Native
There you go with the slave talk.
Americans, for restitution that is still being paid to Holocaust survivors. It is to pay back and to repair damage that was done and to pay a debt because of wrongs that were inflicted on a particular group. So reparations is a payment of a debt that this country, the United States of America, owes to Black Americans who are freedmen. That is our legislative term, freedmen, descendant of those who were enslaved by the American government and emancipated at the end of the Civil War.
He's making it strictly about slavery. And this is why this is very, very key to highlight certain points and where people want to agree and stand with. He's constantly highlighting slavery, emancipation after slavery. You see what I'm saying? Listen to him.
It's for unpaid wages that our ancestors should have inherited, but also for the damages and for the lost opportunities through redlining, Jim Crow, the Federal Housing Authority.
I agree with him. Jim Crow was a very horrible thing towards our people. The federal housing shit, detrimental to our people. We got to highlight these shit. This is what affected your ancestors as well. You see what I'm saying?
The housing covenants, the destruction of Black Wall Street, and land theft. Reparations is a payment on that debt.
For the destroying of Black Wall Street and land theft. That's key as well. I agree with both points at this point on certain points that they make.
That's right.
Michael, do you have a response to what Marcel just said? Because there are parts of your article that maybe speaks to some of his point about wages and such. I don't want to set you up for a response, but when he was speaking, that came to mind for me, and I'm curious to know if you had a rebuttal.
Right, I do, and I agree largely with everything that he says. And I think the difference between our arguments is that I think that debt is large, right? So if you're talking about unpaid wages, I totally agree. But I also agree that that debt extends past slavery, extends past emancipation, and extends, really, it's up until the end of 1976.
So the voice that you hear now is Micheal Harriot. That's Micheal Harriot that you hear. I just want to confirm that for you guys' ears. This is Micheal Harriot that you're now listening to.
My input when the Federal Banking Act was passed, because before then, if you were focusing on the economic aspect of it, right?
Sound like he got a little twang in his voice or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
the wage, not just the wages, but the investments.
The tether tone.
You're talking about the GI Bill that Marcel mentioned, right? The African Americans who fought for this country are still doing that. If you're talking about redlining, that those effects still linger until today, which is why I am sometimes reluctant to.
I'm low key hearing tether talk. I'm just gonna keep it flat like that. Y'all let me know throughout the bill what y'all think. We're gonna get it going. Let's keep it. Drop them fire emojis. Hit that like button out there. Hit that like button.
There's a Brookings Institute report that shows that the average difference between white and black homes, the identical homes in a white neighborhood and a black neighborhood is about $48,000, and that is because of redlining. And so the way this country was constructed is due. And the important part about what we're talking about is this, right? So if you're talking about after slavery, there are, in every instance that Marcel and I just mentioned, the Supreme Court or legislatures have already said, oh, you did it wrong, but they didn't give compensation as they did for, any other civil case that would have ensued during that time, right? So if you're talking about Brown versus Board of Education, which a lot of people don't know, that was 5 cases. The first of which originated in Somerville, South Carolina, where a majority black child came from 35 school buses to a white school, and their kids did not have a school bus. Some of their children would drown on the way to school periodically. And so I think when we limit it just to wages and just to unpaid wages, we do a disservice to ourselves, and we kind of, I think, let America off the hook for all of the damages that we have incurred.
Thank you, Michael. Marcel?
So, as I stated in my opening statement, reparations starts with chattel slavery. It starts with the people who, as Michael knows, down here in South Carolina, were working in those rice.
There we go, the slavery talk.
Plantations, which has some of the highest death rates in all of the Americas, who were growing the indigo, who were smithing the iron, who built the structure of cities like Charleston and Savannah, two of the wealthiest places in the world at the time of during slavery. But it by no means stops there. I've already went through, I'm just going to repeat, it continues with the failure of Reconstruction, the mass lynching that happened. It continued with police brutality, the destruction of Black Wall Streets. And we talk about Black Wall Streets, but there were also Black prosperous towns that were destroyed by white mob violence. The number one cause of lynching was land theft. It continues with the fact that Black soldiers, like my great-grandfather, who is still alive, fought free the Jews from Hitler's regime, and he was deprived of the money he should have gotten via the GI Bill. So all he had to pass down to his daughter, my grandmother, was poverty, and all she had to pass down to her son, my father, was poverty. But those things were not done, as you argue in your article, Michael, to Black immigrants. That is the debt. Those are betrayals that this country specifically did to freed men, Black Americans who are of non-immigrant background. People who are enslaved by this country at the end of the Civil War were supposed to have this country reconstructed. And in that reconstruction, we were supposed to have resources, wages, land, and housing. This country did none of that. They betrayed us, the Republican Party, with the compromise in the 1870s. That is what reparations is for. Reparations is not to solve the issue of racism or even anti-Blackness. It is to pay a debt. In my household,
I agree. I mean, I got to say I agree with what my man is saying.
If I break a mug and I try to repair that mug, I'm not going to go around and try to repair all the mugs. I'm going to repair the one that I damaged, because that is the one that I broke and I need to fix. Likewise, this centuries long terrorism that was burnt by Black Americans. Before 1965, it was basically no Black immigrants in the United States of America. And the claim for reparations generally goes from 1776 to 1965 with the enactment of.
When he's saying Black immigrants, he pretty much saying Aboriginals. I'm just going to say that we the only non-immigrants here. Fact.
Civil rights legislation. They said that what they were doing were wrong, and they stopped it on paper. Now they have to make restitution for it that they stopped.
Yeah, let's dig into that a little bit there. So there are a couple of things that I hear you.
Restitution is key as well.
Saying.
Like I said, it's for Aboriginal restitution. You hear them key words he threw out? They let you know where he stands. For the most part.
One is around the timing that reparations should encapsulate. The United States paying reparations should encapsulate, right? There's this idea of 1619 or before, 1776, but then there's this open debate about the end date of that, right? Of where the harm happened. So there's that piece. And the other piece there that I think is embedded within that question about timing is the idea of the ongoing effects of slavery and who those ongoing effects affected and who is covered by that when it comes to reparations. So, Michael, can you speak to your thoughts both on the timing, the beginning and theoretical end date, as well as the legacy of slavery and who is covered by it from a reparatory justice standpoint?
Sure. I think we all agree on the beginning date, right? When the first Black people stepped foot in America. And as far as the end date, right? So I think, speaking to Marcel's point, I don't think we can disassociate the country and anti-blackness and racism from what happened to the descendants of slaves and even black immigrants. Now, I would agree, and I think most people who study this issue would agree that the comparison between what happened to slaves and immigrants, there's a economic difference, there is a socioeconomic difference between the two. But it does. I don't think that American laws that cause the ongoing discrimination, such as redlining, such as the GI Bill, differentiated between the two, right? And so I think we let America off the hook if we say, "Oh, you don't got to worry about that other stuff." And my ultimate point is about the ongoing effect and the end date of slavery. When we talk about, for instance, the GI Bill, right, and the people who fought in World War I and World War II, many of those people were immigrants because that was a way to become an American citizen. So that includes, when we talk about redlining, right? Even today, black immigrants are more likely to live in black neighborhoods than any other population of immigrants, and even more so than second and third and fourth generation Americans going black. When we look at the economic statistics, and I think that everybody who's looked at the data would agree that immigrants who come to America have it better off because they don't suffer the vestiges of slavery. But what we also see in the data is by the third and fourth generation, for black immigrants, and not for any other group of immigrants, not for white immigrants, not for Hispanic immigrants. When by the third and fourth generation, the children of black immigrants suffer the same consequences of living in America as everyone else. They are as likely to be incarcerated. They are as likely to live in a red line area. They are as likely to suffer the unequal funding of schools. So what it shows me is that what America does can't be kind of separated. What America does to black people can't be separated. Now, I would agree with Marcel that, and even with the California bill, that there should be a special consideration for African American descendants of slaves. And I don't think that anybody would argue that, right? Because the longer you've been in this country, the more likely you are to have suffered these inequalities that America produces specifically for black people.
Thank you, Michael. Marcel, your thoughts on the question?
So I want to start off asking Michael a question. I know you can't answer right now. The Claims Conference, that is the body that distributes to this day reparations for Jewish people. I'm looking at what they have here. In order for a person to be eligible, it doesn't say you have to have been of Jewish descent living in Europe. It says you have to have proven that you were harmed by the Nazis. You lost property. When America first, at the end of World War II, before reparations were paid to Jewish people, the United States military, they actually already started making Germany, West Germany, pay reparations. Do you know what they did? They made them give back the property to any Jewish person from whose property they stolen. Now, did they go around and give property to all Jewish people who are probably living in West Germany, but were fortunate enough not to be put in a concentration camp? No, they only addressed the people who were harmed. Until this day, the Claims Conference only pays reparations to people who are spouses or who are survivors of the Holocaust, not to all Jews. Likewise with the Japanese. Japanese received reparations. And it was not even, some of them were not even alive at the time. They have passed away by the time reparations were done in the 1980s. But I'm looking at their qualifications right now as we speak. It has to be a Japanese person who was interned. Now, according to the data, 80% of Japanese Americans were interned in internment camps during World War II. but not all of them were. Now, you can believe the reason the Japanese were interned, because America at that time was dealing with a time of yellow panic, when there was pretty much xenophobia.
I'm gonna get ready to drop the link so we can have a dialogue about what we're listening to now. I would like to get people's perspective or opinions on what's been dialogued, so maybe we can get some people on the panel. I will drop the link here in a second, and I'm not gonna be playing the full debate, but you can go watch the full debate by going to the description box and clicking the link. The full debate to the link to the full debate is in the description box.
Towards Asian people. So we can all imagine that there were Japanese people, there were probably even Korean people and Chinese people who were probably dealing with anti-Asian sentiment every single day, right? But those people did not receive reparations. Only the Japanese who were interned. You do not get paid reparations because you chose to come to a country whose history you know is anti-Black. Our claim for reparations is not to make white people like Black people. It's not even to solve all the problems in this society. It's to make this country pay the debt that it was supposed to pay and probably would have paid had Abraham Lincoln not been assassinated. Those 40 acres in a mule, they weren't going to be given out to people who were living in Jamaica at the time. They were going to be given to the same people who were emancipated at the end of the Civil War. In Savannah, Georgia, which you know, because I'm in original South Carolina, I know you know where I am, is only 25 minutes from me. General Sherman met with 20 pastors. When General Sherman asked them, what can we do to right the wrongs that we've done to the Negroes? They say, give us the land that we cultivated. Black immigrants that come here are coming to a land that they did not build. They are not the persons who inherit the debt. Let me tell you, I have heirs property in my family, and you probably do too, being that you're from James Island, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. That land was bequeathed to us, right? But we still have to pay the taxes on that land. My family has paid tens of thousands of dollars to keep heirs property. We inherit the debt of paying for property for which we cannot get a single dime. Likewise, the United States of America has inherited the debt of paying what they should have paid to our ancestors. What sense does it make that an immigrant whose ancestor was not enslaved here can come here now all of a sudden and say the debt should be paid to them as well? No. If we want to deal with issues that are impacting Black people generally, we can do legislation for that. But reparations here, this is for America to pay its debt that it owes to a group of people to whom they still have not paid, and that is Black Americans of non-immigrant background, no one else.
So I want to make sure that I establish a couple things based on what you just said, Marcel. So with the California AB 3121 bill, with the task force voting, the motion that they approved, Michael, can you mute your mic? And if we could all keep our mics muted while others are speaking, we'll have less feedback, and then the audience will be able to hear us better, is what I understand from people's feedback. Thank you. So what the task force for AB 3121 had just voted on is they approved the motion to limit reparations to descendants of chattel enslaved persons who, or free Blacks who were here before the end of the 19th century. So we're talking before 1901, right? So Marcel, are you saying that that date fits, that cutoff date for having been in the United States fits with your concept of the timing for reparations?
Please repeat that again, Denise. I'm trying.
No worries. So that 19th century cutoff date, being here, a free Black person or a descendant of chattel enslaved person in the United States, being here before 19th century, so before 1901, fits your concept of that cutoff date for reparations, for slavery particularly.
The claim for me will go from 1776 to 1965. And may I say something real quick? I was watching Tiffany Cross, I know Michael Rancho tonight, and I saw she asked Kamala Moore about what if an immigrant came here 200 years ago. Well, if they came here 200 years ago, they will qualify for reparations because they will be descendants of American slavery. They would be freemen. So yes, I definitely do agree with that particular time. Okay.
And then, Michael, you'd mentioned when I asked about timing, you said a date that's when the first Black people stepped foot here. So can you give me an actual numerical response to that? What date is that you're speaking of?
So when, there's a bunch of different dates. There are people we don't.
Tell me the earliest one that you're thinking of.
Expedition with Aon, who had a slave revolt in 1526. And the white people went back and the Black people stayed. And a lot of people believe, there are historians who believe that those people are the Lumbee in North Carolina, on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina, in Lumberton, North Carolina, specifically. So I would go back to the 1500s. If you can trace your lineage, and I don't think that anyone argues that there should be a special consideration for people who are descended from slavery, right? And I think we're kind of having two parallel conversations. Does America own the descendants of slaves? And that the answer to that question is yes. And then does that debt that America owed to the descendant of slaves extend past slavery? And I think the answer would be yes. The vestiges of slavery did not just affect the descendants of slaves, although I believe that if you are a descendant of slaves, you are due more simply because of the unpaid labor, right? But all of the things that Marcel mentioned, I believe, you can see happening. You can see the vestiges of those in the 1920s and the 1930s, when America had systemically extended slavery to its prison industrial complex, when America had systemically introduced the concept of segregation, and the defunding of Black wealth, when in the 1930s, when America gave the greatest social program in the history of North America, the New Deal, and specifically excluded Black people. And, the question is, and I think the difference between Marcel's argument and my argument is that when I consider reparations, I consider that all, and in my consideration includes everything that Marcel said. And the specific question that I have is like, why people are so adamant about the exclusion of people that after slavery experienced the same injustices from America, right?
Yeah, so there are a couple things, and then Marcel, I do want to toss it to you because that is the next question is about the positioning about race-based versus lineage-based, and I think there are a couple things that I want to clear up first. And let me level set the room here. So this is a 60 to 90-minute conversation. We are not taking questions from the audience just because we are very, very limited on time. If you do have a question, please DM me or Alexis. And we will try to get your question and fold it into the conversation. I am so sorry. So there are a couple things. One, with AB 3121, it's not just that it's limiting it to the end, to the emancipation and the end of slavery, but it's talking about people who qualify for the reparatory justice from when America was a country, right? Because we can't account for when it was not. But in California, particularly, that those folks who qualify would have had an ancestor who would have been here in the enslavement era, and they would be, the reparatory justice would include times post-slavery because it's also taken into account the compounded legacy of anti-freedmen, anti-Black sentiment that was present after emancipation. So it's not just that it's covering just the time during slavery, but the people who experienced the compounded legacy of slavery were also at some point their people were enslaved. So it does continue beyond emancipation. But Michael, to your, and I hope that that's clearer. But Michael, to your point, that is the next question, which is, why would reparations for slavery and the legacy of slavery include a vast number of people who were not here even before civil rights legislation was enacted, and they didn't bear the burden? Marcel, do you want to speak to the why you hold the position that you hold about lineage-based reparations versus race-based? I know you've said it, but let's say it again, and then I want to know why Michael feels that race-based is appropriate and the best route to go. And then we'll talk about legality.
Definitely. Okay, I was going to get to the legality argument anyway, but I want to say, Michael, I'm going to repeat again. My claim, the reparations, 1776, 1965, all the damages, all the wrong that was done to Black Americans, the debt is owed to Black Americans. Imagine, Michael, would you say to a Jewish person who survived the Holocaust, would you dare say to them that a Jewish person who moved to Germany just yesterday should get payments as well because anti-Semitism is still a problem? Would you dare say that to a Holocaust survivor? Would you dare say that? But people always feel comfortable saying that to Black Americans. Here's the thing. I want to speak to the legality, Denise. I'm just going to go there. We have two examples I want to point to. During the American Rescue Plan, the earmarked money to help farmers, they tried to say it was for Black, quote unquote, farmers. They really made it for Black, Asian American, Pacific Islander, Hispanics. They threw everyone in there. Now that aid is being held up in courts. And why? I want to read to y'all what the judge who filed an injunction against it said. I'm trying to click on what people are writing me and they're blocking my button. And she said right here, she said that to make it based on race and say that it's flexible, but not to have any other category for which a person could qualify for these funds is the antithesis of being flexible. In other words, what she is saying that race-based policies are too rigid and discriminatory. And that's why this aid for the Black farmers that was done last year is still being held up in court. Now I want to point you to another example. There's a case called Pickford versus Glidden. It started in North Carolina, where Black farmers got together, around 400 of them, and they sued the USDA. And guess what? They didn't go there suing them saying they were being racist against Black people. They said that they were being racist against them. They came with evidence showing that they have faced discrimination because they were Black. They didn't sue for Black people to get right for the USDA. They sued for the USDA to pay for the loss on funding that they had experienced because the USDA discriminated against them. And they won their case. That right there is the problem. If we start trying to include everyone who really is not owed that and who are really not the ones that burnt the wrongdoing, our case will fall flat. It will not stand on constitutional grounds. I've looked at reparations for the Japanese. They never said you have to pay Japanese people. They said you have to pay Japanese people who are interned. The Cleans Conference that still handles reparations for Jewish people. And they deal with several countries. They deal with Austria. They deal with Germany. They deal with the Netherlands. They even deal with the United States of America. They're quite.
I have to say I agree. Lineage base is going to cut off other groups from trying to get in on what we're trying to get. Race base leaves a small gap of opportunity for these other people to get in on it. So that's what we want to prevent in all.
That you have to just be Jewish and you have to face anti-Semitism is that you have to be a survivor of the Holocaust or their spouse, or you could be a descendant of someone who fouled, but they never got a response or they died while their application was still being processed. We will be the only group to give away our exclusive claim to everyone who's quote unquote Black, only to watch it go up in smoke on constitutional grounds. We have no grounds saying Black people because the USA did not harm all Black people. They harmed those 4 million people who were emancipated at the end of slavery. And like you, Michael, I know it goes past slavery. I always give the analogy of a house. If you have a house and the foundation has been damaged, and you continue to neglect the foundation is going to fall into further and further repair. Likewise, the USA should have paid that debt to our ancestors. Had they done that, we would have inherited that wealth. Because they have not done that, the deficit, the pain, the lack of opportunities we have experienced has increased tenfold, if not more. But that doesn't change the fact that we are the people to whom they hold the debt. Black Americans, y'all always tell us, and you right for the root and for the grill, y'all always say things like we have to save America or come out and save America. America ain't never turned out to save us. And the problem is this time here with reparations is Black Americans, freemen, who are saving ourselves. It is exclusive to us because the debt is owed to us.
Marcel, you shared a lot there, and Michael, I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. And I'm also, noting something that you and Marcel said in regard to including immigrants in your article, as well as data that's been shared out by multiple sources. Black immigrants.
I'm gonna end the live stream right there. Y'all can hit the link. Come on, let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna give y'all 60 seconds or 2 minutes to hit the link. 2 minutes to hit the link, or we're gonna end the live stream. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tapping.
See, my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back, got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jail. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it.
Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, highway ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the God to the gate. So when they say they fear God, now you know what they made.
Yo, shout out to everybody on the chat, man. We about to get right in this thing up. I appreciate everybody for coming in. Shout out to the chat. Salute to everybody. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out, man. We about to get ready to get out of here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Share the live stream. I might do another live stream later on. We got some fire coming up this week for you guys. Shout out to y'all. We out here. Make sure y'all be safe on y'all daily commute.
Too much fake love, snake you in your face, love. Too much fake love, snake you in your face, love. I ain't showing no feelings. I ain't showing no feelings. Homie called my phone, he told me, call her with this rap shit. Lately I be going crazy, feeling like I'm bad shit. My men in the gutter, all these bitches want me crack shit. Niggas talking down on me, they don't want me hash shit. Try to stay legitimate, I'm back on this trap shit. Try to run up in the crib, strike it, made him backflip. Reels call my phone, I know he heard him, but he act tough. Bitches try to line him, we gon' find him, make him give it up. Don't tell me I did enough, but really we ain't did enough. Trying to turn my city up, they trying to take my life from me. They trying to take my life from me.
That's why I keep this pipe on me. Too much fake love, snake you in your face, love, your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God, bro. When the snake gon' show his face, then that's how God, bro. Too much fake love, snake you in your face, love, your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God, bro. When the snake gon' show his face, then that's how God, bro. I ain't showing